This program is part of the Infinite Potato Alliance. Visit us at infinitepotato.com.
I'm Jared Stern. I think people should listen because we're desperate for attention right now.
I'm also Jared Stern. This is what I like to call an exercise in benign narcissism. And
You're Between Two Sterns.
And we're back.
And we're back.
You don't know how long we've been gone. Time is an illusion.
Well, it really is as our yeah, I'm not going to get into how the entire world is falling apart.
Oh, no, it's yes.
Just the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, no, it's really tough to keep track of all of the swirling dreck around us. But welcome back to your semi-regular distraction from said dreck. We have other things to regale you with that will hopefully keep the other shit at bay.
Yeah.
That's the hope.
Yeah, you want to start out. Do you have good stuff or bad stuff?
I mean, I have several updates that are all good.
Okay,
they're all good updates, and then we're gonna play another installment of everyone's favorite game show. What's Jared got?
Oh yeah. Okay, so I'll go second.
Yeah, you'll go second. You'll close this out.
I'll close it out.
I've got several updates. First, once again, we're recording on a weekend. You don't know this, but we're telling you. We're recording on a weekend because initially, again, the hope, the plan, the thought was we would have another shot at See the African Jared Stern.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this time he let us know before we started recording, which was nice. Not in the middle of recording, but before we started recording. But we wanted to make sure we got an episode out to you guys, just so there's not just so you don't forget about us. Anyway, got another email. Wasn't able to make it work this weekend, but I swear to God, we're going to make this happen with South African Jared Stern. You're going to hear his better South African accent than mine. At least I hope so. I don't know. I can only, mine's just an approximation based on Lethal Weapon 2. But I'm hoping.
Once again, it's not me. I am not South African Jared Stern. And if I was, I would not be able to do a passable South African accent.
Keeping up the illusion, and when the reveal happens, it's either going to be South African Jared Stern or it's going to be this Jared Stern revealing that he has been fucking with me entire time.
Oh my God, it would be so good.
It would be so good. All right, so that's the first update about things going on with the show. The second thing. Our good friend of the show, Chris Papa, cast your mind back.
Oh yeah,
a couple years ago now, because we've been doing this for 4 years.
Yeah,
a couple years ago now, he put our faces on a virtual race car, on an race car. That he raced and I think wrecked. I'm not sure. I think I have to go back to the footage on that one, but I'm pretty sure we got run into the wall. Anyway, I got a notification from him that he wanted some updated assets. He wanted our new updated logo because the Between Two Sterns car is taking the road.
Yes.
Again, it'll be hitting the track. I'm not sure exactly when, but it'll be part of the racing series this year, hopefully. Well, yeah, I think this year. I'm not sure when exactly it's racing. Anyway, there'll be a link. You'll be able to see all of it. You'll be able to see how well we do this time with our faces just plastered all over a race car, which is very cool.
I'm super excited.
Yeah, me too. Thirdly, I believe when last we spoke, I had talked about the project that John Irons and I are working on. Book of Yo Mama Haiku. And at the time...
And if this is the first time you're hearing about it, it's exactly like it sounds.
It's exactly like it sounds. For those of you who are just joining us, what we're doing is... So something I realized is that Yo Mama jokes and haiku both start with 5 syllables if you keep the opening insult 1 syllable. So, your mama's so big, your mama's so broke, your mama's so weird, that sort of thing.
Mama's so beautiful.
No, that's too many syllables. Anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Any hoodle. So, based on that, we kind of took this concept and expanded it to the nth degree. Initially, what I wanted to do was a book of 50 haiku. But you know what? John Irons is a goddamn machine. Mm-hmm. He is a haiku machine. Mm-hmm. He cannot be stopped. He can only be contained. Yeah. And it's being contained in this book. We expanded to 100. So it is
Seems like a miss.
What are you talking about?
Seems like it should be 575.
It should be 500. Well, you know what? We'll expand it out and we'll do 5 because 575 pages.
5,
7. No, I get it. Yeah, no, that's too many.
That's fair.
that's too many. Anyway, so we've gone from 850 syllables, esoteric syllables about Yo Mama, to 1,700 esoteric syllables about Yo Mama, which thankfully 1,700 and 850 are both enough syllables, are both 5 syllables, and so that still works.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too because, and something I didn't even realize, and I feel like an asshole. I feel like an asshole most of the time, but one of the many reasons why I feel like an asshole was I didn't know what John Irons did for a living.
Oh my God. How long have you and John been friends?
I know. Do you know what he does for a living?
I have not been friends with John as long as you've been friends with John.
Well,
I don't. This is not a what does Chandler Bing do moment for friends. I don't have this history with John. But
anyway,
no, what does John do for
He's a
living?
graphic designer.
Okay, this is a huge miss by you.
I know. Well, no, it's not a huge miss. It's very serendipitous.
Well, of course it's serendipitous, but I feel like there have been many moments where you're like, I've been fucking around with the graphic. I wish there was somebody like,
yeah, no,
he's a fucking graphic designer.
Trust me, yes, the thought crossed my mind that I'm just completely ill-informed about most of my friends. So I barely know what you do, and
well, nobody's allowed to know what I do.
And I'm not allowed to say it on the podcast.
We're not allowed to do.
In any case, so he's an amazing graphic designer, and the design he has put together for this is perfect.
Really?
It is like if I could take an ice cream scoop to the part of my brain that had this idea and splatter it on a page, it's pretty much exactly what he did.
Oh, that's incredible.
So it looks so fucking good. And so now it's just a question of getting it all laid out, formatted, and then figuring out publishing.
If only you knew somebody who worked in publishing.
Yeah, I know somebody who works in publishing. But she's not.
No, I'm
someone
aware.
who can do that
I'm aware.
for me.
It's just I feel like this has been multiple episodes of being like, well, we have this idea, but who's going to graphic design it? Oh, John. Oh, well, who would publish it? Oh, my wife. Like the people who are very close to you.
Yes, no, I apparently have a lot of people in my orbit who have the exact skill sets for what I want.
Exact skill sets for what you're looking for.
In any case, our hope is to have it all done and to have it out. National Haiku Day is April 17th. Mm-hmm. I feel like we can... And technically, I think February is National Haiku Writing Month. I think. There's so many...
I feel like that's just really milking the haiku thing.
It really is. No, but there's so many...
Nobody gets a day and a month.
And several people get a day and a month.
Who gets a day and a month?
Women's History gets a day and a month.
Oh, okay. Women's History gets a month?
It's March. Okay. I mean, it's not... They're not allowed to have it anymore.
Well, no. Obviously, nobody's allowed to have anything anymore.
Right.
But, like, prior to...
Happy last Black History Month, by the way.
Oh, my God, yeah. Right.
In any case, I'm super excited about the book. It is a rare... It is a rare thing where an actual original idea has been had by me. I've come up with a bunch of stuff and then I've Googled it and realized someone's already done that. But I've gone through and I've Googled this, and the only things that come up are shit that I've written. Because I put some stuff out on Instagram, like with basic, I've done these haikus before. Mm-hmm. I've just never done them en masse and put them in a collection. Mm-hmm. So yeah, super excited about it. probably will bear no fruit whatsoever as far as money or fame or anything. But you know what? This year and previous years, I've always wanted to create more and consume less. Mm-hmm. That's always been the goal. And I think this is a fun creation that will be a nice bit of ridiculousness and positivity that we can just put into the world, and yay. And then we can just be happy about that.
I hope that.
Yeah.
That's what happens for you.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
And finally, final update for those of you who are itching to see me live and in your area, depending on where your area is, I've got shows coming up. I've got some good shows coming up.
Nice.
I'll be in Delaware the weekend of the February 21st and 22nd. On Friday the 21st, I'll be at the Dickens Parlor Theater. I'm headlining a show there. And on the 22nd, I'll be headlining a show at the Dream Big Performing Arts Center. Links are on jaredstern.com. The weekend after that, the last weekend in February and leading into March, which is my comedy anniversary. We'll be celebrating 23 goddamn years doing this. I know. Long enough that I can't quit.
Yeah, you can't.
I will be at the Comedy Club at Duckworth's in Charlotte, North Carolina. So that's a brand new comedy club, and I'm really looking forward to it because they've been selling out shows since they kicked things off in January. So check me out at in both of those states. If you live anywhere near Delaware or Charlotte, North Carolina, come out and say hi.
The many states of Jared Stern.
The many states of Jared Stern. I will be there in both gas and solid forms, depending on the weather, possibly also liquid. So we'll have some fun in spite of it all.
The many states of Jared Stern would have been another really good name for this podcast. Between two Sterns, I'm just realizing. Yeah.
Well, how many different states have you lived in, first of all?
Oh, a ton.
And then how many different states have all the other Jared Sterns been in? I mean, mostly they've been in New York.
I've lived in more states than I think most people have. I think I'm up to 5 now, 5 or 6.
You've lived in 5 different states?
So Pennsylvania,
right.
New York, California, Maryland, Virginia.
Those don't count. Maryland and Virginia are like the same. They might as well be in the same place.
Okay.
The DMV is all one.
Not that it matters, but once my lease is up, I'm looking into moving possibly into D.C.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, there was a little thing I was going to tell you at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right, so those are all of my positive updates. And now it's time for a giant negative update.
Stretch out while I get into it.
As we play everyone's favorite game show, What's Jared Got This Time?
Well, if you had that Jared got gout on your bingo card, you gout it correct. So, what was it, like a week ago at this point, maybe? I was going out of town, and I woke up, and I had this, like, pain in my left foot, and I feel like it's a pain that I've had before. This is not just kind of like a joint muscle pain.
When you get to this age, when you get to the age that we are at, which is right squarely in the 40s, things hurt for no good goddamn reason.
And I also find that because I have high arches on my feet, if I wear certain shoes, I wear boots because it's been raining and fucking miserable out. So I was like, oh, maybe it just happened from that. But the more I walked, and I was like, this is fucking painful. And so popped some ibuprofen, jumped in the car. Me and my girlfriend, we drove down 4.5, 5 hours to visit her grandmother. A lot of fun, great time. But as we're down there, I'm really popping this ibuprofen a couple times a day in order to get through it. No big deal. So foot starts hurting more and more throughout the weekend. And then we go out to do a Walmart run to pick some stuff up for her. We're out with her cousin as well, my girlfriend's cousin as well. And by the time we get to the grocery store, I am limping on my foot. And we've all agreed that I need to see a doctor when I get back. I was like, something is going on with my fucking foot. I don't know. To the point where, you know how if you're being lazy or whatnot, you'll lean on the front of or on the back of a grocery cart and just kind of use that for support.
Did you flip a grocery cart?
No, that wasn't enough support. I had moved to the front of the cart and was holding it with my hand and like limping on it, using it as a little bit of a roller.
Now, when I was dealing with my plantar fasciitis,
Which I've had.
that was essentially what felt like someone was taking a knife and stabbing it into my heel.
Yeah.
So how does that differentiate from gout pain?
I've had both. Gout is worse. And so, yeah. So, for frame of reference, so once I got back from the Walmart trip, took my foot out, and I was like, while we're out there, I'll just get some like, we had Icy Hot, but like some sort of like, whatever roll on.
What's this motion you're making? I don't know. A Sharpie. I got a Sharpie and I'm just going to circle it. I'm going to draw
whatever this is.
I'm going to draw a happy face on my foot.
Have you ever
maybe
used
that'll
like
make it feel better.
The roller like bottles of
Yeah, sure.
Icy Hot that have the little ball, like a nerve pain helper. I was like, I don't know. I thought it was arthritis. Like I was like, I have intense arthritis in my foot. Sure. So we come back. I take my shoe and my sock off. My foot has like not doubled, but like swollen up. And there's this like red band across the top of it.
Oh God.
And my girlfriend looks at it and she goes, "Oh, that's gout." And I was like,
How does she know?
Because her dad had gout a bunch. Now,
Okay.
my dad has had gout. But my dad's gout was so bad that he had what looked like a golf ball swell up on the side of his toe.
Good Lord.
To the point where they had to cut a hole out of his shoe just to put his shoe in.
Oh.
So I'm like, okay, so now I'm icing it and medicating it. Now I'm reading what gout is. And gout is a buildup of
Uric acid.
Uric acid,
Yes.
which, as I read more and more, the best way I can explain it is it's like kidney stones of the toe. So the uric acid builds up, and these
I knew him well.
little crystallized like bacteria shards, so that every time you put pressure on your foot, they start jutting into the joint and into your nerves. But there is, so I'll get to my process going through my doctor, but it's not like there's a cure for it. You just got to kind of let it run its course, kind of like
Well, like a kidney stone.
kidney stones. You just got to flush it out. So
Yeah.
the crazy thing is we're reading all of the things that cause this thing, and I do none of these things.
Well, yeah, it's like people who drink a lot get
Drink
gout.
a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
I don't drink. Eat a lot of red meat. I don't eat a lot of red meat.
Nope.
Eat a lot of shellfish. Not a lot. Like I'll eat seafood, but not a lot of. Drink a lot of sugary drinks.
Hang on. So, does it make you wish you would have just done that anyway?
Well, that's now why am I being punished?
Yeah.
For the thing if I didn't.
Why don't you just enjoy your life?
I
and
should
still
have
get
just
gout?
done the thing. So I finally get back. I'm supposed to see a doctor on Wednesday is the earliest doctor I could see, but I can't walk on my fucking foot. So I'm like, you know what? I get like a last minute doctor. I go to the doctor. I go to Kaiser Permanente.
Did you go to a podiatrist, or did you just?
No,
went
I just went
GP?
to a general practitioner. And at this point, by the way, the pain is it's such a strange pain to experience because like, if you're not putting direct pressure on it, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to lay in bed and let a bed sheet pull across the top of your
That
foot,
hurts?
like the most excruciating
God.
pain you can imagine. So I didn't sleep for like 4 or 5. I haven't slept in 4 or 5 days at this
Why
point.
didn't you just put your foot on top of the sheet?
Because it doesn't, like, even if my foot is resting outside of the sheet, as you turn throughout the middle of the night, nobody stays purely stationary. So I'll be sleeping there, and then all of a sudden, my body will naturally shift, and all of a sudden I'll be like, rah! Like, I'll shoot up in excruciating pain. So it's like every hour I'm up at this point. So I go to the doctor. I can barely walk. I'm limping around on my foot at this point. I'm treating it with ibuprofen, which is kind of doing something. I get to the doctor. She looks at it. She goes, "Oh, that's gout."
Well, great. Well, here's my copay.
I go, "Great, thank you." She's like, "I don't even need to do an X-ray, but we need to do a blood panel on you." And I was like, "Okay." So the blood panel they were doing was to check the amount of uric acid in my system.
Sure.
If I had a tremendous, so there are 2 types of gout.
Mm-hmm.
There's like continuous all the time, which you would have to take medication all the time to deal with, or there's just like a flare up and a spike. And then you just kind of treat it as it comes, right?
Okay.
So she was like, we're going to test your uric acid. Now, because all the uric acid is in your toe, if it's the one where it happens every so often, your level is going to be low because all of it's in your toe.
Sure.
But if your level's still high, then it's the one that's all the time. I go, great. And I was like, just run it all. Run everything I need.
Take all the tests.
Take 4 vials, run me for whatchamacallit, arthritis, run me for everything that it could possibly be. So I go down, they take 4 vials of blood. I'm limping around everywhere. And then she was like, oh, you're overdue for a tuberculosis shot. I was like, great, throw it into the fucking pile. Let's go. Let's just jab me and stab me. And so
Get it all.
So she goes, okay, I need you to stop taking ibuprofen immediately, and I need to put you on this. I forget the name of it. Something Itafan. I forget the name of it.
Okay.
But you can't take it with ibuprofen because it'll fuck up your liver.
Sure.
Fine. I'm supposed to take 25 milligrams of this pill 3 times a day.
Okay.
Cannot take it with ibuprofen.
Okay.
Go home from the doctor, stop my ibuprofen, take that 1 pill that night, and now the pain starts coming back because I'm not taking the ibuprofen.
Well, sure.
And I expected this to be a painkiller as well, but not. We'll get to this.
Okay, sure.
So now I'm laying there in bed. I can't sleep. I'm like losing my mind. I'm like, well, I have to do something. So I did what anyone would do in this situation.
Take aspirin?
I popped an edible. Because...
Of course.
But here's the interesting thing about edibles when it comes to pain. I don't know. Have you ever treated pain with edibles?
I've never really done edibles.
Well, we should do that sometime on the podcast. People will tune in for that. I'll have like a wing roulette set up for you. One of them has the bomb. One of them's dry rubbed in like THC powder. So I end up popping the edible. The interesting thing about like using THC is it numbs the pain, but it doesn't dissolve the sensation. Mm-hmm. So I'm not feeling the pain of my foot, but I'm still experiencing a throbbing sensation down there. So another restless night, I wake up the next morning, I wake up, I look, my foot is doubled in size.
Oh God.
I have no toe gap anymore. Like there's no space in between my toes.
Oh, Jesus.
I can't walk on my toe. Now I've gotten my grandfather's cane out of the closet, and I'm walking around like Gregory fucking House around the apartment, just like limping around everywhere. I take another one of these pills. I was like, okay, I only took the first one last night. Took the second one midway through the day. I was like, I'm losing my mind. I couldn't take it anymore. I did a teledoc conference with somebody else, and I was like, what is this doing? And now I've learned this is when I get like an education. Nothing against the first doctor. I don't know. She was a last minute. I'm not faulting her. But this guy explains to me what's going on. And he's like, well, none of the pills cure it. It's either an anti-inflammatory. You just got to let it run its course. I was like, well, he's like, you're only on 25 milligrams 3 times a day? That's pretty low. And I was like, the amount of pain that I was in the doctor's office, like I couldn't get my sock on and off my foot. So now he prescribes me prednisone.
Oh, wow.
And 800 milligrams of ibuprofen 2 times a day.
Wait a minute. You're back on ibuprofen?
This was a couple days ago. Yeah.
Okay.
So he was like, I want you to stop taking the medication she told you. We're going to put you on an antibiotic steroid, and we're going to give you a... But here's the problem, man. I have to get to Kaiser to pick up the fucking medication. And this
Rachel pick it up for you?
This was on Wednesday.
Okay.
During the snowstorm.
Oh, shit.
So...
Can you DoorDash something like that?
No, because it's medication. But I can't get a shoe on. When I say that I sat there, and I called my dad to ask him about this, and he was like, I'm so sorry. He's like, I've done a lot of things. Gout is the most excruciating pain. Gout is the most excruciating pain I've ever been in my entire life.
Boy.
When I say I sat there, I unlaced the entire shoe.
Mm-hmm. Took the tongue out?
Took the thinnest sock I had, and couldn't get past, like, tears were rolling down. I couldn't physically put it on. So it's a snowstorm. So what I ended up doing was layering up like 3 layers of thick socks.
Oh, God.
1 shoe on 1 foot, and I'm walking with a cane through the winter snow. So I go to the doctor, I pick up the ibuprofen, I pick up the steroid. I got a tip from a couple of other people and read some stuff. Tart cherry is super helpful. Like now I'm like a fucking gout expert. Tart cherry is very helpful. So I picked up tart cherry pills, popped the ibuprofen, and within like 8 hours, the swelling had started to go down. I'm now just coming out of it. So now it's the fine.
Well, you were able to walk from your building to our new
There's still a little pain. I'm not even on ibuprofen today. I'm just on the prednisone. But this shit's bad. This shit is bad. And like, for me, who is a little bit older than my girlfriend, there are moments where like we recognize the slight age gap between us.
Yeah, the slight gap.
And these are the moments that really test the relationship. Where it's like, just so you know, there is a definitive direction that this is going to go in. And you're cool with me being that guy potentially at some point. Because the other thing is, I'm limping around the apartment on a cane, and she's up at 4:45 every morning running in the cold for marathons. So there's a difference.
Yeah,
there's a slight difference between the... But my foot is feeling much better. Gout is no joke. And the other thing that I found out was something about the cells and the types of food. But one of the worst things you can have for gout is caviar. And the week before...
Where the fuck
I'd never had caviar before in my life, but the week before I got gout, we signed up for this like 3-course tasting meal, like paired with mocktails.
Oh, in the dark?
No, not in the dark. Okay. Just a regular lit 3-course tasting meal. And
we had our ears plugged.
That was actually... But in that tasting meal was like a tuna tartare, like covered in caviar. So we think it was like a combination of a bunch of little things.
I want you to know how you sound when you say that. You know what's really bad for gout?
Caviar. No, it was one of those things where like we had never had it before. It was like, so it was a combination of a lot of different things. I also suspect that one of the other contributing factors is what I'm about to pivot into. But,
please.
So, by the way, this tasting thing that we did,
yeah,
I had one of the greatest restaurant moments ever. So we thought that like it was a tasting menu where you had your own table. We signed up for it ahead of time. No, it's a shared table.
Oh, cool.
I mean,
okay.
We're not shared table people. We just want to do our own thing.
Hang on. No. You seem like the kind of person who would want to make friends with every other person at the table.
That's my mother. That's not me. No, I'm sit back, whisper to each other snarkily about everybody else in the room. Okay. That's me. I'm Mystery Science Theater, my social settings. So we're at this table, and like we were like, fuck, they're gonna pair up. So we were like, it was almost like an airplane where like you didn't have somebody sitting in the middle seat, and then like right before they started, this German couple must have been, I don't know, 60s, 70s.
Okay.
But like very quirky, right? Like the hair and like the frizzy, like just super quirky. And speaking in German the entire time. And her and I were back. But there was one moment where like they would bring out your food and then they would ask if you want like fresh Parmesan or fresh grated on there. And so like the guy had some done on his pasta. I had some done on my pasta. They brought out short rib, beautiful short rib with a truffle risotto. But it wasn't like a pasta. It was like short rib. So it was like, do you want some Parmesan on there? I was like, yeah, I'll take a little bit. So they come over to me and go, okay. Or no, I went third. They started with his wife. And when I say a mound of cheese, imagine any sitcom where they just keep going, like a Mr. Bean style, where this thing went on for...
Say when? And say when?
But there was no say when. He was just like...
They run out of cheese before...
I mean, he went through half a brick of this Parmesan cheese, to the point where Rachel and I are looking at each other being like, we do not start laughing right now. Like, lock this shit down right now. To a point where she was looking at her husband, like everybody was confused. But that's the thing. Like people had already come around with pepper. People have said stop before. And at a certain point, she was just like, okay, stop. The rest of the meal was her and I trying to figure out whether or not she knew what she was doing. Or she did. It was the funniest fucking thing that we couldn't have laughed at. Yes.
So they come to you next.
Oh no, I just got normal amount of cheese.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so my feeling is that the gout was caused by a combination of factors that existed.
Well, it is a combination of factors. The worst of which being shitty genetics.
Well, yeah, my dad has.
Your immune system is hanging by a thread, sir. You have been in the past 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Let's just run down what's happened to you, because we've had almost shitting your pants in a Cold Stone Creamery. Mm-hmm. We had full-blown scream vomiting norovirus, and now we've got your foot swelling up like a fucking water balloon with gout.
You know what it is? I just jump on the trends, man.
Is gout really big right now?
I don't know.
mean, it is really big.
I
You
don't
could put a
know,
fucking
but
shoe
maybe
on
it was
over
maybe it was on my save to watch later list. It's just one of those things. Like a new iPhone comes out, I want to try it. A new piece of technology comes out, I want to try it. A new
news
virus
for you.
that's coming out, I want to try it.
Gout's been around for a while, man.
I mean, this is one of those classics. It's like The Godfather. I'd never seen The Godfather. I went back and got a little gout. Like,
the Gout Father.
The Gout Father. Hey, everybody. Thanks for sticking your ears between two sterns.
Please leave us a 5-star review, even if it's a sarcastic one.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Have an idea for the show, or are you also Jared Stern?
Shoot us an email. You can find links to everything at jaredstern.com.